Guys, what's up, guys? How we doing? Welcome to the show. Cowboy Crunk coming to you live for Thursday night football. Very, very nice to watch a game that really almost has, or basically has no implications against the Cowboys' schedule or what goes down with our Dallas Cowboys this year. We can just sit back, root for a team, and check out a football game. So, just wanted to go live here, do maybe a show. Might do a show depending on how many people are here, the whole game. Let me get the live stream going. See who we got here tonight. Here we go. Hey, this is gonna be a good game, guys. The Browns uh, in Cleveland. The Jets, first and third round pick, or first pick and third pick in the draft. What's up, guys? Hey, all is well. Welcome to the channel, guys. Want to do a little live stream show? Check out the game. We can just hang out, and watch some football tonight. No implications in the Cowboy game, so doesn't mess with our schedule. No one in our conference. Just chill out and watch some good football. The sound is okay. No problems with the sound feed. If there is, let me know. I want to move the computer. I had trouble with the sound feeds last week. Uh, had a little trouble with the sound feeds last week. One of my computers was giving off a little feedback. So got my Hot Boys hoodie in the house. There we go, guys. Hey, Buddy Johnson, how we doing? Cowboys face in the house. How we doing? CT Cowboy DC4L. Sounds good. Yeah, okay, great. Thank you, man. If there's any feedback, let me know. I don't know. I think it was from, I have a small Dell computer that has I don't know, like a really weird screen, and I don't know if there's something wrong with that little computer giving a little feedback. So, okay, predictions for the game. Who do we got on Thursday Night Football? If you guys are watching, or if anybody out there stuck at work, just, on their phone streaming. What's up, Chris from New York? Hey, if you're a Jets fan, good luck to you, brother. Uh, Chris Kellens. How you doing, man? You're a Cowboys fan, right? We got a Jersey fan and a New York Jets fan in the house, or I got this Jets over Browns, 16-10. Yeah, hey, it's going to be a defensive struggle. I think. I don't think there's going to be a lot of Jets fan for life. Awesome, man. We got a Jets fan in the house. Cool. Oh, Cowboys. My bad. I thought I'd seen you here before. The channel's growing quite a bit, so I'm trying to get a lot of the names down. So yeah, I think I'd like to see the Browns. Did you say the Jets? I got uh, I got Jets. Oh, come on, man. We got to pull for the Browns, dog. The underdogs. Well, I'm pulling for the Browns. I've been watching them for a few years. I really thought last year they would. I thought last year they would win about 6 games. I guess I overestimated their coaching staff to me because to me that they've got the people, they've got the personnel. Man, they've got a load of first round draft picks, especially now. First and second round draft picks, they're just loaded. Uh, I want to see Ward play too. That was a guy I was really interested in. That cornerback safety that they got. I'm not even sure where they got him playing. I don't know if he's playing corner or safety. But, anyways, don't want to talk too much about those teams. We can talk about our Cowboys, man. Anybody got any news? I know. I know I've seen quite a few articles this week leading up to the game. I think our game plan will be similar to last year's game plan, the game we lost. Um, if you guys recall, that was the game that pretty much ended the season for us. But if you look at the team, the stats, we really dominated the stat line last year against Seattle. That was one of the first games, or it was like the second or third game actually. Our defense stepped up, and really we've been a lockdown defense since those last 4 games of the season last year. Um, I would like to pull the stats up on that game if you guys don't mind and give me a second. We dominated the Seattle game last year, and we just had turnovers in bad spots. Dez had that fumble, and that they scored off of that. I think they put up 7 points or 3 points off of Dez's fumble. He fumbled at the 40-yard line. They moved down and I think kicked the field goal or scored a touchdown. And then if you guys recall, Dak Prescott had that pick six, which pretty much, they hadn't moved the ball. They Seattle had not moved the ball at all last year in that game, and they ended up winning. So, can you speak on Looney and his possible progressions? Yeah, as everything Looney's done, man, he stepped in and done great. He's he's picked it up really well. He played well the first week. He played outstanding last week. From what I've seen, he hasn't given up. I think he gave up one hurry so far. I haven't seen any penalties on him. Has anyone seen any? I don't recall any holding penalties on Looney or anything. I think, as far as Looney goes, I don't think we're missing too much. I don't think he's as powerful, of course, or has the athleticism of Travis Frederick. I don't think he's as fast. He's a little slower, a little more. Uh, but I do think Looney has stepped in and played very well, man. And I'm really glad because they love him in the locker room. He's really one of the guys they love being around. You guys know the offensive line. They go out to eat dinner every week, and they take turns picking up the tab. And Looney's a clown, man. He really is a fun guy to be around. The guys like being around him. So uh, I hope this week, guys. What I hope is there's two keys to the game. Our defense, not even worried about our defense. Our defense is solid. Our coaching on defense is solid. I don't think there's a damn thing to worry about except for injuries, and we can't predict those. The only thing I think we have to worry about is the play calling and coaching. So we have to worry about Marinelli and Garrett, and them, at least forcing Dak or telling Dak he's got to attempt some passes down the field. And I'm worried about Dak still, coming out of rhythm or not being there. But as well as he played last week, I think he'll play. I think he'll play well again all the way until we have the bye. I think he'll come out of the bye a little rusty, as he always does, because he's a young quarterback. So that's the only thing I worry about is our play calling and coaching. And if Dak comes out aggressive, he has to come out aggressive. Our offense our offense is really, a walk it up the field, take the yards chunk by chunk. So we've got to take Dak every once in a while and say, hey, man, you've got to be a little aggressive with the ball because our offense is is so slow and monotonous walking up the field. You know what I'm saying? So we've got to tell him, hey, force the ball up the field, take a shot every once in a while. You guys saw we did that. I've been preaching this, you know, let Dak out the closet or push him out of the closet. Dak's in the closet. And what I mean by that is they've got him caged up. They've got him caged up to where he's timid. He doesn't want to throw the ball. He's walking on eggshells, or it's him. So that's what I think on that. I think as long as those two things happen, we're going to be a much better team. We'll continue to play the way we played last week. Uh, Man, this stuff with the roughing the passer, guys. Especially the one if you guys watch the Minnesota Packers game. Uh, Man, it's a tough call the way they're calling this. Let me check the chat box. Hey, what's up, James? How you doing, bro? Welcome in as always. Browns are playing competitively, much improved. Yeah, I thought they'd be competitive last year. They just weren't. I hope we don't trade Jordan Lewis. What if Anthony Brown has a yeah? I do like Anthony Brown this year. He's playing a little better than he did last year, but it is early. Uh, you know, we we've got I think we need to. I'm not one of those pump the brake guys. I hear that all the time, but I think yeah, we need to hold what we got. We got depth at that position. We need to keep that depth. I don't see a reason in making that change. Unless Seattle's interested in Jordan Lewis, that would be about the only team I would be interested in doing a trade, and that's if we get another solid secondary piece. Um, can you speak on Looney? They don't trade Jordan Lewis, and I agree. Shouldn't need. They don't. They don't trade Jordan Lewis, and I agree. I'm worried about Bobby Wagner is back, and yeah, we still really haven't got our running game going consistently. Zeke he had decent yardage per carry, but he had a couple of those 18, 15-yard runs. He hasn't broke anything for over 20 yet. So we'll see how many deep passes would you call per game. I think it depends on who we're playing, and the need to open up the offense. Some of these guys some of the teams that don't have a prolific offense. We play the Rams. We're going to have to throw it down the field quite a few times, at least seven, or at least somewhere between 5 and 7, and it depends on how successful it is as well. It depends on how well our running game is doing. So it depends on the scheme. I think against the defenses that we face. Here we go. We got the game started, guys. Let me grab a water real quick. I just woke up, man. It's really weird. It's 5 a.m. here, so 5 a.m. watching a little football, hanging out, talking Cowboys. Got my Cowboys drum in the house. All right, here we go, guys. I know there's a buzzing sound going on in and out. Yeah, okay. It is happening. I think this computer's too close. Let me know where the microphone is too close to the. I wish I could turn this microphone down. Let me know if that fixes it. I think the microphone might be too close to the phone, maybe. Maybe that's the situation. Let me know if that fixes it. Thank you, buddy. So yeah, it kind of depends on the offense and the defense we're facing and how many points we need to put up for how often we need to stretch the field. I really don't think we're going to put up many games over 30 points this year. Maybe two or three, and I don't think we'll need to. If we can get close to the 200 mark for Dak, we can get Zeke, passing the ball. If we can get Dak to have around 50 yards rushing, and we can have Zeke get right at 100, or at least get 40 yards rushing out of Dak, and we can end up with 150 yards rushing, have 15 yards from Tavon Austin and Rod Wilson together, have on a jet sweep or a couple runs for Rod Smith. Excuse me, I said Wilson. Rod Smith, and we can get 100 yards, around 100 yards for Zeke, and have close to 200 for Dak. We should win our games this year. And I know that those numbers are really really low, but what's up, Dwayne? How you doing, bro? Welcome to the crib. Hey, it's time to get a little pre-workout. I get my pre-workout in. Uh, all right, Browns already had to punt, so we got Jet Sam Donald coming in. I don't know if you guys are able to watch the game where you guys are at. I cannot show the game. I got another copyright email this week for one of my videos just because I had the corner of the screen on there. So I've got less of the screen on there now. Yeah, we're going to see a defensive game, I think, guys. This is going to be a really big defensive struggle. Let me represent C4 in the house. A little pre-workout drink. It gets me going in the morning. I don't do coffee, guys. I got to do my pre-workout in the morning. I don't do a lot, but I do enough to wake me up, get me rolling. That's only like a half scoop. So there we go. Now I'll be straight. Now I'm crunk. Now I got some energy. The sound is better, guys. We don't have the feedback going. Stevie Mac in the house. So many ladies will be getting pregnant tonight if the Browns win. Oh my God, dude. Stevie, you're a clown, bro. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, they should. They should celebrate. Uh, only on DUC. What's up? How you doing, man? Welcome to the game. Cowboy Nation in the house. Hey, this is a really good game. We can sit back, watch some good football, watch some good defense. Watch a bunch of punts. We're gonna see a lot of punts tonight, and we don't care about this game. Just hang back, and watch some football. Relax, and this has no implications against the Cowboys at all. Uh, I don't even think they're on our schedule this year. Either one of these teams. I've looked at our schedule so many times, but then it's been a while since I looked at it. I did a couple shows at the beginning of the season, going over the whole schedule. Um, Chris Richard called him the defense player when he gets the Giants. It looked like our kicker. Hey, will mention one thing. Anybody got any comments on Brett Mayer? He looked better. I know it's only one game. Um, like I said, guys, we kind of a lot of people jumped on him the first week because he missed that kick, but he really outperformed. He really outperformed Dan Bailey in preseason, and then at the end of the season there, the regular season with Dan Bailey, he had a couple kicks, and it looked like he had some nagging injuries that was causing problems. So uh, I think it's going to work out for us. It allowed us to put a little money away. We're going to have some close games. This is the thing with the Cowboys. We're going to have some close games, and we're going to have some close games because we're not going to blow any teams out of the water with our offense, as you guys know. Um, I do think one thing we haven't started getting those turnovers yet from the hot boys, just tearing people down. Yeah, Stevie Mac's comment was on point. Uh, the hospitals will be busy. What is this? This is September, so we got 3, 4, January, March, April, May. Yeah, the hospitals in the nurseries in May will be busy delivering babies. If they win tonight. And I think they got a good chance. I actually think the Browns are going to win about 4 to 6 games. They don't look bad, and all of this drama within. Hey, I was at the Carolina game, and he broke my heart. I miss Bailey Maddock, but hope Mayer can continues. Yeah, that was a really tough kick for him, and I know that's what kickers are supposed to do is make tough kicks. But at the time, the offense looked horrible. We'd finally gotten into field goal range. It was on a sloppy field. The weather there wasn't really great. It was really humid. It was, if I recall, I mean, I wasn't there, but I know it had rained a lot. The field was sloppy. The offense was playing horrible. Uh, the defense was playing okay. We didn't have a great defensive game. We were missing some tackles that game, but that was a lot of pressure on him to come in, knowing the guy that he had replaced was, the second best kicker in the history of the NFL, as far as numbers go. So a tough position for him to be in, but he still should have made the kick. As you guys saw, that thing was from 47 yards, and it was way at the top of that goalpost. He's got a strong leg, and that was one of the benefits. That was one of the benefits for making that move, is he can make kicks from further than Dan Bailey. He's got a stronger leg than Dan Bailey, and if you guys don't know, in the Canadian Football League where he was playing, he was their punter, and he was averaging more per punt than our current Chris Jones. So he's a very good punter, and he punted in preseason. He had 7 punts in preseason. No, excuse me. He had 17 punts in preseason. He had 7 pins inside the 20, and he averaged 48 yards per kick in preseason for us. So he's a really good punter, and I don't know if the Cowboys want to put themselves in that kind of a situation, but you could easily release Chris Jones and have him hold 2 positions. And all this time when we talk about, oh, if we're going to pick up Earl Thomas, what do we do? Or if we've got we just signed Bryce Butler back, who are we going to let go? Truthfully, we could turn him into the two-headed monster, make him a punter and a kicker, and we save salary and we save a position. So that's one way we could do it if it came. Now the problem you get in with that is if he goes down or he gets injured, now you've lost your punter and your kicker all in one. But if you guys recall, back in the day, Danny White was our quarterback and he was our punter, and he was our starting punter. There was no backup. There was no. He punted for years, and that's the way the Cowboys did it. I know that's a little old school, but hey, if you can save a position and have your punter come in, it's not a it's not an extremely demanding position, kicker or punter. But the problem is you get a hamstring issue or you get a tweaked ankle or something like that, and your punter and your kicker are down, you could have some trouble. But if you keep a guy on your practice squad, or there's always kickers out there. Kickers are one of those things you always can. There's always a kicker sitting around somewhere looking for a job. Let's see, what do we got here? On paper, the Browns are decent. Yeah, paper. Actually, the Browns are an 8-8 team on paper. I mean, to me, they've got the pieces. They've got a running back now. Uh, Meyer looks better in game two. Yeah, much better in game two. Uh, I think he's going to work out for us. He just needed confidence. Confidence is one of the big things with kicking. When when Jimmy Jones, when Jimmy Johnson had our kicker back at that time period come in, he had missed a couple kicks. Had Here we go, touchdown. Oh, that's pass interference. No. Oh, he was turning. Okay, Claiborne back there. Oh, Cowboys in the end zone there. Did you guys see Claiborne make a play on the ball? They won't pass interference. Hey, he was looking back though. Claiborne had him covered. He was open. Claiborne looked like he wasn't trying to get over there. He was playing the ball. As long as you're looking back, you're playing the ball, guys. If you're going for the ball and you bump into each other, that's fine. There's nothing you can do about that. That's the way you play it right there. Excellent punt coverage team. I'm gonna turn this a little bit more, guys. I don't want to get any problems. Really, they're tripping out on this stuff. If you're like showing the screen at all, they're gonna burn you on it. So I don't want to get hit. Cowboys trash, honestly. Uh-oh, we got some haters in the house. How you doing, John? How do you say it? Not sure how I say your last name, brother. Yeah, Cowboys can't read either. We can't play football. We can't read. So I apologize if I butcher your name. Enrique Hernandez and John has. Whoa, bruh, that's a tough one right there. You feel bad now. Why you feel bad? No, you're good, bro. It's all good. It's a football channel first. This is a Cowboys channel. We do. I like to see all shades and colors in here. We're not biased. We do love our Cowboys, but we love talking football. And any information you can give us on your team, we'll take it. That's how we work here. So, uh, Buccaneers, the truth. Hey, that's a good question, man. Fitzgerald came out there looking like what's the MMA fighter? Uh, the MMA fighter come out there with the shades on and the gold chains and now I can't think of it right now. Why? I don't know. I'm so horrible with names unless I sit down and. Plus, I just woke up. It's 5 a.m. Yeah, Conor McGregor. He come out, he rolled out there look like Conor McGregor, man. What the hell's wrong with that dude? That's cool though, guys. He's been around a long time. I didn't really realize till I looked up his stats. This is like his 12th year in the NFL, man. And it's really cool to see a guy that's put in the time. He's been a backup. He started. He's been a backup. He started. And it's really cool to see him start off the way they did. 400 yards per game, 4 touchdowns per game. Really awesome. Browns are are off season away from Dean Basher, still on one of the main personnel from my New York Mets, who helped turn us into a World Series team, is the guy. Ah, really? They just need another draft, a few draft picks. Yeah, they need. If I'm reading your message right, or if I'm understanding it, I don't do baseball, man. I can't stand to watch it on TV. And here, where I'm at, Tuesday through Tuesday through Thursday's baseball here. Just baseball, baseball, and I can't stand it. That's all I get on TV. So, but yeah, I'm Fitzgerald looked good, man. Really, really awesome that to see a quarterback come in like that. Don't know what's gonna happen when don't know what's gonna happen when the starter comes back. Man, see, I told you I'm horrible on with this shit right now. Damn, from Florida State, starting quarterback, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I can picture his face. Uh, and I need to wake up, bro. I need a little bit more of this. I think. Show the game, or I'll drink water. I wish I could, man. I can't show that. It's nationally televised. You guys should be able to pick it up. A lot of people come in. Yeah, Jameis Winston. I'm really sorry, guys. Man, I'm having to ask questions, but at least it's keeping you guys awake. I know you guys we're all talking in here. Some people just stream the show and hang out, and I guess background noise. Uh, I, let's see. Superman Cam, you think Cowboys gonna make the plus? You know, the next couple games are going to tell. We've got a part of our schedule coming up as far as your. Hold on, you think the Cowboys are going to make the playoff? Superman Cam comment. You know, every year I think the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs. Actually, I'm one of those fans. Every year I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, that you pull for your team. You hope the best. You know, when you send your son off to school, you hope he's gonna score an A on his test, and you believe in him. So yeah, I think we're on the edge there. It just depends on those two things. Like I said earlier, uh, it depends on two things, and that is if the coaching staff can force Dak to push this ball down the field a little bit, and if the play calling and coaching continues the way it was last week, we'll be okay. I'm not even worried about our defense. Our defense is solid. We're going to be better this week, and 2 weeks after that, we're going to be even better. Once we get Randy Gregory back, it'll take him a couple weeks to slide in and get things working. But I think totally sport. It'll take him a little while to get rolling, but I think we'll be okay. Cheyenne, what's up? Totally sport. Eck. Corn for all sports. I watched GGG. Oh yeah, that was a good fight, man. It was really close. The decision to Canelo. My wife, she's a huge boxing fan. She actually is from Panama, and back in the day, Hitman Hearns and the Hands of Stone and all of those guys. Uh, that's that's when I grew up watching boxing as a kid, and that division was crazy. Um, let me pull something up real quick. I'm I'm, I'm like blown away this whole. Roberto Duran. I'm sorry, guys. I was trying to pull up and check something real quick, but yeah, where she trained, Roberto Duran used to, I guess, work out in that gym a lot, and Roberto Duran Jr. taught a boxing class there. So my wife trained with Roberto Duran Jr. Uh, like Tuesdays and Thursdays for a long time, and she's big into boxing. Pretty cool. So boxing's a big thing I like to watch. I know it's gone it's kind of fallen off the map a little bit because of the controversy that with decisions, So Browns aren't looking too bad. They're starting to move the ball down the field a little bit. We might have a game here. We might have a 3-0 win or something like that if these guys can get the ball moving. Fitz is better than Barry. I mean Brady. Yeah. Defense wins rings. Flacco has not a yeah. Yeah, defense can do it, guys. Our defense, for us to turn our defense around like we have in 2 years, and uh, it really started around game 12 last year. Game 12 last year is where we made the moves. We put Jordan Lewis and those guys in. Chidobe Awuzie, and they made the move. They moved Byron Jones to corner a little bit last year, towards the end of the year, but not a lot. They still kept him at safety. But when we moved those rookies in last year, and they were all healthy towards the end of the season, that's really when our defense picked up, and we started shutting down the pass game on other teams. And also, David Irving and Demarcus Lawrence got their games together, and we started playing well with David Irving. Through the middle of the season, he had a 4 game injury last year, and he had a 4 game suspension last year, and only played 8 games and had 7 sacks. So he was really right on point to get about the same amount of sacks as Demarcus Lawrence if he played 16 games. D. Will, hey, can D Log? Yeah, I think he'll get 12 sacks this year. I think actually that's about a good number. I think he's going to end up with about 12 sacks because he's going to have to share sacks with other guys. I think he's going to get back there, and he might find out that Randy Gregory or David Irving or Antoine Woods might have beat him there already. Our defense looks. We're blitzing this year. Our sacks are going to be up, guys. We're blitzing. We're man pressing on the corners. We got Byron Jones and Chidobe Awuzie lined up right in front of the receivers, chucking them at the line. So we're going to have time to get in there. We're going to have time to get in the backfield, and we're going to pick up some sacks this year. Our sack numbers are going to be way up, which I think is going to cause more fumbles from the quarterback, more strip sacks, and I think we're going to get a lot more interceptions this year. I'm really surprised we didn't get an interception in the New York game. Eli played a very, very good game, and that's really a compliment to our team that we won when Eli played well. He had 14 passes, as you guys know. That has been one of the big stats coming out of the game, was he had 14 passes to Shaquan Barkley. Well, those were checkdowns. Majority of those were checkdowns because no one was open. Eli Manning couldn't find anyone open. Now he did go 33 for 44, which is a very good completion ratio, but they got very little yards on it because it was checkdowns and we were tackling well. So if you tell anyone, hey, that the Giants Eli Manning went 33 of 44, and they only put up, was it 10 points? I can't even recall it. I've been working on numbers all week, so I've even forgot to score the game already. I'm a brainwash guy. When something happens, I wash it out of the brain and forget numbers. But Byron killed it last week. I think he's only allowed one. Yeah, he only allowed one catch, and it was for 0 yards. So he had 7 balls thrown in his area. I think it was 7 or 6. So he had 7 targets to his receiver, and it was one catch and 0 yards. So yeah, Byron Jones was a legit shutdown corner. There's word that Jordan Lewis being shopped around. Yeah, Jordan Lewis, I did a video on that 2 days ago. He was shopped around a little bit, but there wasn't much interest, and I think the Cowboys. This is the time to shop him around if they're interested in trying to do something, and the reason is he has not played much for us this year, but the trade value on him is still high because I don't think anyone's noticed that he's not playing a lot. So you can't throw. It's from your back, LOL, I think. Yeah, yeah, you can't throw the ball from your back. And like I said, man, Eli played well for as many sacks as we got and as many hurries as we were rushing him. 13, 20 to 13. And that touchdown was just a blown play. Jeff Heath made, a bad read. He was looking in the backfield. I think he was one of those plays where he was either had his eyes caught in the backfield or he thought he saw something and he lost track of Ingram. Ingram ran right past him into the end zone. So wasn't a bad game. You're going to have a blown play a game. You're going to give up sometimes a field goal or a touchdown due to a bad play. Crunk, did you hear that Chaz Green? Yeah, yeah. The Giants are looking to pick up Chaz Green. He did have a workout with him, so we'll see where that goes. Uh, hey, if they do, we know we know where to send the blitzes in. You know, what slot to send the blitzes through. So Browns fizzled out. I thought they would maybe go down and score. Yeah, D. Will, I just ordered my new Bill Bates jersey. I've had two Bill Bates jerseys. I had one that I got a while back, and I only wore it a couple times during a couple games last year. I actually got it for a soldier over here, and I ran into a soldier in the gym. I had my cowboy stuff on, or excuse me, in the DFAC. It's the dining facility, and it was a it was an older lady, and she said her father was a big Cowboys fan, and she was from Pittsburgh, and she hated the Pittsburgh Steelers, and her dad hated the Pittsburgh Steelers, and she asked where I got my jersey. I can't remember what jersey I was wearing, but I told her I could get her a jersey, and my buddy got this Bill Bates jersey for me that fit me so perfect. I ordered it for her, and it fit me. Man, I love that damn jersey. And I, for about 5 months, I never saw her. I carried that jersey around in my vehicle every time I went to the military base, and finally I ran into her, and I said, "Hey, I got that jersey." I was kind of hoping I would never see her again, but she got that jersey. She was so damn happy, so happy. Uh, hey, he's coming along. I will agree. He's not a Bill Bates. He is no Bill Bates, but he's similar in build. He's similar in size. He's very fast. Dude, Jeff Heath is quick as hell. If he can be coached up, which he has been quite a bit, Heath can be a good safety for us. Our safety core right now with Chris Richard, getting into those guys and coaching them up. Our safety our safety core, the three safeties we got are very very good guys. They're coming along. Uh, yeah, I agree. Bates is better than Heath, but I see the similarities kind of that they're really really similar. I watched a lot of Jeff Heath, and I watched a lot of Bill Bates. Um, Bill Bates was a special teams man. He was a phenom on special teams, really outstanding. That's what got him the recognition. He moved from special teams and started getting a few snaps, and he played well. He hit good. He hustled to the ball, and he made big plays sometimes. They really, really are similar. Just Heath needs to bring it along. He's not as good as Bill Bates, but there's some similarities there. Uh, Enemy territory. Being from Northern Carolina, I feel the same way about the 49ers. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not right now I'm a big hater on the Packers. We've got to get past those guys. We've had two playoff opportunities now, and the Packers have shut that door for us twice. Last year, Seattle shut the door on us going to the playoffs. So there's a couple teams we got to get past. One of them's this game this weekend is going to be, man, it's going to be crazy. We're going into Seattle. There's been trade talks all off season, the crazy trade talks all off season with this Earl Thomas thing, and we're going into Seattle. It's going to be awesome. Just the environment of the game Sunday afternoon is going to be off the chain. Turn the volume down there, guys. But yeah, I think we'll have a good game. I think we're going to be in the backfield a lot. I think uh, I think Russell Wilson is going to be running for his life. I hope we're going to get Randy Gregory. He didn't have an outstanding first game, but he did get in there quite a bit. We saw some really good flashes of, here we go. Uh-oh, take it to the house, hide. The Browns just got to get rolling, man. That's all, guys. They just got to get rolling. Doug Baldwin status. I'm I'm not sure on Doug Baldwin. I just got up. It's last I checked. Uh, yesterday afternoon, he was questionable, but there was no final status on his progression. And like I said, I just woke up. I went to sleep around 10 o'clock last night, which is pretty early for me, so I could get up and watch the game and be awake. So let me see. I think Frazier is going to be great too. I hate to, yeah. Frazier's my breakout player of the year. I ordered his jersey too. I ordered 6 jerseys yesterday, and um, one of them was the Bad Man jersey. I've been telling you guys I'm gonna get. So the Bad Man jersey will be coming in with this group of jerseys, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it until I decide to burn it, but I will have it somewhere. I'll probably keep it where I can't see it. But yeah, Frazier, man, Frazier's a big guy. Uh, if he can be coached up properly, if he can learn to take the proper angles, if he did miss a couple tackles, but he's an aggressive tackler, and that will come with time. He's a young cat. All of our guys are young. I think we're still the second youngest team in the NFL right now. We may be the youngest. So with releasing Dan Bailey, who wasn't extremely young, but a couple of the moves we've made recently. The Bryce Butler deal. I'm really excited about that. We needed a weapon. I've been saying that since the beginning, and for some reason they won't put Rico Gathers in. Really upset seeing that bad throw by Dak Prescott in the that was like in the second quarter, I believe, late in the second quarter, early in the third quarter when he missed Rico. Man, that I think that would have maybe put him on the map a little bit. And Browns play calling is awful. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're. It looks like Marinelli maybe I mean Linehan. Maybe Linehan's calling plays for him. I'm not sure. Oh, partially blocked. I wasn't partially blocked. It was blocked. Oh yeah. So we'll see, guys. I think we'll have a good game this weekend. Rico will play more. I hope so. He did get open. He got separation. I hope they noticed that. He ran a very good route. He was in the perfect spot in the back corner of the end zone. There was plenty of room there. And that's the thing with these routes he's running. You have to make room to give the quarterback, that window. There was a huge window there for Dak to hit, and he just had a bad throw. And Dak played much better last week than he did against Carolina. So it would have been nice to see him hook up with Rico, though. That really would have I think put a check mark by Rico's name for the game. So if there's any new guys out here, hey, subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing the live game Sunday. I'll do probably a show or two between now and then. Not too busy here. My operations is really slow right now. We're going through contract renegotiations with the military. So right now our fuel requirements are really, really down. I probably have about an hour and a half of work a day here. And then the rest of the time I'm working on the new contracts. So what do you do? Hey, man, I expect NASCAR packages all day coming at Russell Wilson. We're gonna get up. We're gonna press the receivers. We're gonna get up in the receiver's face. With our linebackers, quick and fast like they are, we can get up in the slot receiver's face with our safeties as well. Our safeties are are good cover safeties. We're gonna get up there. We're gonna get in the receiver's face. We're gonna hit him in the mouth, and we're gonna have the hot boys are gonna be chasing Russell Wilson around. By the time the snap gets back to him, by the time he does his 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drop, we're gonna be chasing him. So yeah, I think Taco looked really good, especially against Seattle, or not Seattle, against the Giants, and I expect more of the same. They gave up 5 sacks in the first half, so we're really going to get after Russell Wilson. We're going to see a good game by the Hot Boys, and I'm hoping to see a good game from Rico. We've been pulling for that all season, and the tight ends, none of them are playing well. I did see the post game. I know it was after the practice today. Jason Garrett made a he had a press conference, and that was the first question. Hey man, what are you doing with these tight ends? Basically, that was the question. What are you doing with these tight ends? There's like nothing going on with them. And he said, "Oh, Jason Witten, Jason Witten, Jason Witten." He talked about Jason Witten and then went on. Dude, grow some. That's my thing with Jason Garrett. He doesn't want to say anything. He won't answer a freaking question, and say, "Oh, we want to get, we need some more." He won't say something specifically like, "We need some more offensive threat out of our tight end position." Our guys are blocking well. We've been using them as blockers, but we really need more of an offensive threat out there. He won't say anything like that. He just sits back and says, gives a common answer that kind of gives you an answer where you can go to the next question. Very rare that Jason Garrett gives an answer where you're like, man, I like that answer. Oh, that sounded good. That sounded aggressive. We're gonna do something, and that's why I like Chris Richard. They put a camera in Chris Richard's face. He'll say, our corners didn't play that well. We got some problems we need to address on the corners. The safeties had to pick up for them, and they did this or whatever. Or the safeties got burned a couple times, but our corners had the receivers on lockdown, and they did this, and this. But we're gonna fix that. We're gonna work on this week. We're gonna work on some packages to shut down Odell Beckham or whatever. He'll say things like that, and Jason Garrett just gives it a bland, generic fucking answer that would come from, uh, you know, like some politician. Jason Garrett's a politician, and I don't like it. Dude, you're monotone bullshit, clickbait. Okay, oh, that's cool. Sorry, anyways. CT Cowboys. We're talking Cowboys. We're talking the game. The game is on. So, uh, let's see. CT Cowboys, because Jarrett and is and has been a joke. If you put your superior would be afraid of him. Yeah, if you're yeah, Jason Garrett just I don't know. You guys all know he's kind of a puppet. So we'll see, but I expect them to hopefully come in with a game plan similar to what we had last week. I'm tired of the bubble screens on third down. I'm tired of on third down us not being aggressive. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully they'll be aggressive on first and second a little bit as well. Um, because we that first game it looked like we just came out there to run a few plays, test some things out, and run a few plays and see make sure everybody was healthy. Kind of like we were kicking the tires the first game. So, but anyways, we're still 0-0 going into the second quarter. Uh, Thursday night football, guys. No implications for the Cowboys. Just sit back, watch the game, and anyone heard anything on Bryce Butler's salary? Did they negotiate? Um, did they negotiate a salary for Bryce Butler, or is he still working on that? Or I know he showed up to practice apparently. So Jeff Airplane in the house. What's Jeff Airplane? We're okay. Jeff, where we at? What's your team? As long as we don't get behind the chains. Yeah, that's a big thing, guys. Us getting the penalties. Man, the penalties put us in a hole that we just can't get out of. Our offense isn't a team that's gonna, have 25, make 20, 25-yard first downs. It's just we get yards in small chunks. So, um, yards in small chunks, per play is not going to get us a first down when it's First and 20. We got our first touchdown. There we go, guys. 7-0. Jets. God damn it, Jets. Shit. Come on, Browns. There's Baker Mayfield sitting on the sideline. They need to put him in, man. Hey, you know, Dak came in his freshman year, fourth round, rookie year, and played well. So if Dak can come in and play well as a fourth round, you know, why wouldn't you start the first player picked in the draft? Um, I know their offensive line is not outstanding, but their offensive line is better than I think it's better than Seattle's offensive line. The Browns' offensive line is better than Seattle's. I think it's better than the Giants. It's definitely better than the Giants' offensive line. Browns fans too cocky. Here we go. Let's go Cowboys. Yes, baby. Hey, we got Sunday's game. It's gonna be not worried about the defense, like I said. Worried about the offense. We got to get our offense rolling. Brown Lonzon ain't too bad. They need better tackles. Yeah. Yeah. They need a running game, which they picked up quite a bit, and they need to protect the quarterback. Thoughts on Cowboys special teams other than Chris Jones making a significant impact this week? Uh, Lincoln Hawk in the house. What's up, bro? How you doing? Welcome to the channel. Always welcome to the page. Just doing a live stream. Hey, we're sitting back watching the game. Nothing important. This game really doesn't matter to us. No implications on the Cowboys, but watching Thursday night football. You know, that's what we do. Go home, grab a brew, sit back in a recliner, and check the game out. And if I have to get up, go cook something, I get up, go cook something, and I come back and check out the highlights. Um, where we at? CT Cowboys. Thoughts on Cowboys special teams? Um, well, we did discuss the kicker earlier. Um, I did. We did discuss the kicker earlier. Man, I love Frazier, and those guys get down there. Joe Thomas has played really well on special teams. Um, I'm still concerned about our safeties playing so much on special teams, and we're thin at safety. You know, and then they released. I'm pretty sure that was the final word I heard, that we released that the backup safety um, when we brought in Bryce Butler. So sleepy people sleeping on Antoine Woods. Yeah, I was, bro. Antoine Woods has played like a beast, dude. 2 games, he's made 2 big time plays, both games. That strip fumble that he got on McCaffrey in week one, that that right there got the momentum change. They were really moving the ball down early in the game. They walked straight down and were about to score, and Antoine Woods got that strip sack on, not strip sack, strip tackle on McCaffrey, and big time play, which kind of stunted the game and put it. You know, we then after that we kind of battled back and forth, but they could have went up 7-0, and it could have opened the floodgates on us. You know. Oh, that was Daniel Ross. Yeah, was it really? I thought I could have sworn it was Woods. Yes, Daniel Ross. I'm sorry. Antoine Woods had the sack the next week. The sack against Seattle. That's it. The Giants. I, I'm 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 focused on the Giants right now. I'm focused on Seattle's game coming up this week. Don't know what the deal is. They also that's funny, Chris. What was Chris's statement? Earl Thomas is gonna hide in the locker room and jump on the plane with us. Hey, if we beat them, yeah, it's really an odd situation. Um, I hope what I hope it's a close game, but we win. And the reason I hope it's close is, you guys know, the touchdown we gave up against the Giants was because Jeff Heath kind of lost track of of the tight end coming straight up the middle. He ran right past Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith released him to Heath, and Heath didn't. He had his eyes in the backfield, or he was looking at Eli Manning, or looking at, I don't know what he was looking at, but that's when we gave up that touchdown. So I'm a little happy that happened. Uh, that lets them know, hey, we're still not solid at safety. Earl Thomas definitely would be an upgrade, and we are thin at safety as well. And as you guys know, there's been a lot of safeties out there, and we haven't looked. So I still think we're 100% interested in Earl Thomas. I'm hoping it'll happen. I hope the game is close, and I hope we get burned at safety at least once, maybe twice, but we can still win the game, and they can say, if we had Earl Thomas back there, we wouldn't have got burned twice probably. And that's why I'm hoping we win, but it's a close game. If we blow them out and the safeties play awesome, play outstanding, they're gonna say, why do we go waste the trade? Why do we go give up a draft pick and possibly trade someone off the roster when our safeties are playing great? And really, the safeties are playing very good right now. It's just, we saw the almost injury for Heath. We weren't sure if he was injured or not. He made that interception in the end zone, got pushed out of the back of the end zone, and got up really, really slow, real tender. So we'll see. Um, the tackling hawk, I will agree slightly, but if you look, Eli Manning went 33 of 44, and he only had, and part of that was he had checkdowns, and they were throwing the ball to 14 receptions to Saquon Barkley, and he had 80 yards, but most of that was on a good portion of that was on 2 carries. We didn't make the first tackle a lot, but we gang tackled really well. If we missed the first tackle, somebody was right there to clean it up. So the tackling to me, as far as a team, I think was outstanding. I mean, Eli went 33 of 44, and really, if you look at their offense, it was stagnant. They had nothing. They didn't move the ball well at all. And Saquon Barkley had 11 carries for 28 yards. So we really, to me, I would take that tackling every week. Um, I do remember, man, Heath missed a couple tackles. Sean Lee missed quite a few tackles. But the thing is, as soon as they missed those tackles, our speed made up for it. Our speed, sideline to sideline, made up for it, and we really shut them down. Um, it, I was really happy, not with our tackling one on one, but our tackling 5-on-1. There's only one ball carrier, and if you can get 4 or 5 guys around him, if the first guy misses, the second guy's right there, third guy, and you got 5 guys on top of him. He's Our speed is very good on defense, man, and that's why a lot of the teams with these bubble screens, unless you get your guards pulling and you get those big guys out there and you get them in good positions, it's not going to work. But 33, 33, and like I said, a lot of those were checkdowns because the secondary and the safeties and the corners, they had the receivers on lockdown. And Eli would drop back. He had the defensive line coming in quick. He only had, 1 or 2 seconds to take a read on a receiver, and then he was checking down, checking down, checking down. And 14 receptions for a running back is a lot. So, and Saquon Barkley is a very, very slippery ass strong dude, and we had him locked down pretty much. He had 108 yards combined, and that's on 11. That's on 11 rush attempts and 14 catches. I think he only had, and there was another check. There was about 2 or 3 checkdowns to the other running back, the backup running back, and one to another receiver. So out of those 33 attempts, about 13 of them were checkdowns. So secondary helped that out a lot because we cut him, still have to pay him. Just better to. Oh, we're talking about Terrence Williams, right? Is that what you were? Let's see. We missed the first tackle way too much. Yeah, the first tackle wasn't there a lot, and that was because a lot of the times, like I said, it was Saquon Barkley. That guy's very strong, very slippery, very elusive. Why is Terrence Williams, aka Mr. Body Catch? Yeah, if we the way his contract's set up, if we cut him, we actually have to pay him, and we lose. Now, if he gets suspended, this is the thing. Who was that? I know the name. You're on here all the time. I just didn't see it. Sorry, guys. Who was that? That was CT Cowboy. Yeah, CT Cowboy. if he gets suspended, we can cut him and we do get his salary back. But if there's no suspension, if the NFL does not, suspension is the key word. He has to be suspended. They can't fine him or anything like that. If he get, as far as I know if he gets suspended, we can cut T. Will and we get that money back. But if there's no suspension, the way his contract's set up, we have to actually give him more money, or we lose more money on the cap cutting him than we would if we kept him. Uh, Heath missed Barkley in the backfield for a loss. Yeah, and then yeah, that I really wanted Heath to make that play, uh, and that was one of the few one. That was one of the few runs. That was one of the few runs where we missed Barkley, and then he got a bunch of yards after that contact. But really, we did well on tackling. But we did miss a lot of the first tackles. But our speed made up for it. If we can, if these guys like Kamari and Shaquan Barkley, if we miss them the first time in the backfield, we should have the guys like Sean Lee, uh, Heath, Chidobe, Owuze is leading our team in tackles right now. These guys are really, really quick to the ball. Xavier Woods, we got him coming back. Randy Gregory is fast as hell. These guys we got are speed demons. So a lot of times we miss this first tackle. We should have guys coming in right behind it to clean it up. Herb Faust. Yeah, Sean Lee is not playing his normal self. They're saying uh, Sean Lee may not get as many snaps as he's been getting, which is probably good for him. It'll give him a little rest. It'll keep him from hopefully having these serious hamstring and quad injuries and stuff like that. So true, Herb. Good point. He hasn't looked good. Yeah, Sean Lee hasn't been his normal self. He's still been a pretty good. He's nowhere near leading the team in tackles. I think he has 7 tackles or 9 tackles over 2 games, which is not, normally Sean Lee has 12, 15 tackles a game. So it's just our the rest of our defense around him is getting better. I think that's part of it, and he's not having to do so much. Um, let's see. Well, I hope you pray he gets suspended. Yeah. Hey, the only CT. I will say this. The only thing I like about Terrence Williams is he's the guy I like to blame everything on. So if we don't have Terrence Williams, I don't have anyone to blame this shit on because he's the one guy that every time something happens, I say, God damn Terrence Williams, shit, man. But I can't stand the dude. So I don't know. I have to have somebody to blame shit on besides Jason Garrett. Somebody on the field. Right now, I blame everything on Jason Garrett and Terrence Williams. So if those two guys are gone, if we have a bad game, I don't know who I'm going to pick on. We must get Gallup involved. Yeah, Gallup. There's been little flashes. There's been little flashes, but we'll see. Um, is Chris Covington healthy? We haven't had seen much of Chris Covington. I'm assuming he's healthy. It's just Joe Thomas and Wilson have played so well, and then we've got our other normal. I will never forget that asshole stayed in bounds. Dude, I was so pissed, Lincoln. Oh my God, I was pissed when he did that. And yeah, they tried to stay behind him in the locker room, but yeah, that's the way it goes. Dayton Thompson is playing pretty well. Yeah, DT, he looks all right, man. He's his speed is getting him open. I'm hoping, Bryce Butler and Dak Prescott really have a good working relationship. They really like him. I think Dak Prescott reached out and said, "Hey, man, go get me Butler." I don't know. I don't know if anyone can confirm that or anyone has heard anything about it, but um, I know Des Bryant. I did read an article, and Des Bryant told Bryce Butler they worked out with David Robinson, the route guru they call him, and they said that Des Bryant told Butler, "Hey, man, if you get a chance to go back to the Cowboys, you better go." And so apparently Des Bryant's still on the Cowboy train. He will never ever dislike the Cowboys. He might be upset with some of the positions that are being held within the organization, but Des Bryant is a Cowboy life for life, and that's really cool to see him have that attitude and tell Bryce Butler, if you get a chance to go back, you better go back. And for him to say that, knowing that maybe the Cowboys are looking at him, and if Bryce Butler does go back to the Cowboys, that might shut the door on him going back. But that's how much that Des Bryant, was a true Cowboy guy. And if he sees something, he thinks, "Oh my God, did you see what he just did? What an idiot, dude! Oh my God." He wiped his ass with the ball and then threw it in the stands. That's the end zone dance. See, they start doing these stupid end zone dances. They're gonna take the shit away from us. The running back, I'm not even sure who it is. Oh my God. The running back scored from the 2 yard line. He runs over to the goalpost. He runs over to the goalpost. Crowell, yeah. Crowell, yeah. Isaiah Crowell, 4 rushing. He runs over to the goalpost and then he took the football like this, and like wiped his ass with it and threw it up in the stands for the for the Browns fans. What an idiot, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, they got see those are the kind of things. That's why they took the end zone dance away. They said no more. Yeah, that's yeah, that Odell Beckham. He's an idiot too. Hopefully he'll grow up a little bit. But guys, we got to realize, I don't know how many of us out there are older, but these some of these guys are 21 years old, 23 years old, and they're not all the way there yet, and they're full of testosterone. These guys are hyped up on tests, and natural testosterone, hopefully, but still, that shit'll make you. You guys know Mike Tyson was pretty much crazy his whole damn life. That dude had so much testosterone in his damn body, it ruined. I think it ruined his damn brain. Uh, don't nobody go tell Mike Tyson I said that, but seriously, that dude, that dude just was solid. Okay, yeah, I got my chair all over. I just want to just, but I don't know again because I would have been in the same when I was that age, dude. Yeah, if I was, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I ever scored a touchdown in the NFL, I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna do some kind of damn dance. Uh, that's all I got to say. I mean, to me, hell yeah, celebrate. Why wouldn't you celebrate? You're 22, 25 years old. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, but the attention gets some sales. It gets some jersey sales. It gets, that's one thing about the NBA. You don't have a helmet on. You're really, really close with the fans. They play, the NBA plays 82 games a year, so you're on TV a lot more. And you have a lot more opportunity being an NBA player, or being even with baseball. Those guys, man, 162 games. There's a lot of marketing out there to use on these guys. So um, that's one thing that I don't like about football. We need to somehow create more games. 16 games a year is not enough to get these guys salaries. And I know some people are gonna be like, "What's wrong with their salaries?" But when you compare it to baseball, when you compare it to basketball, the salaries just aren't there in football. Um, and a couple guys, yeah, your quarterbacks and stuff like that. But your lower level players, and also you have 53-man roster versus basketball usually carries about 17, I believe, and baseball, shit, I don't know how many they carry, but when you have 162 games, and a good majority of those are on television, yeah, you're gonna have marketing value and stuff with baseball players that you just don't have with football. The Carlton, yeah, yeah, that would be good. But anyways, guys, on the Cowboys game this week, it's going to be nice to see Randy Gregory back out there. It's going to be a lot of pitchers are on. Yeah, there's a yeah, and those dudes don't play. They only play like once a week, you know. So pitchers, they got it made to me. Go out there and maybe play an inning, one inning or whatever, every 3 or 4 days. Complaining like a month ago. Who's that? What's that, James? Let me read your the dude Odell. They took away the end zone celebrations because butt hurt got their feelings hurt when other teams were better. Remember back when in '99 when butt hurt teams lobbied to ban the Rams? Yeah, yeah. A lot of that stuff was, there was a lot of controversy around the end zone dance. It was taken away from the game, and I think it adds to the game. I like it. I think it's cool, especially when they choreograph something, all together or whatever. Odell and LeBron were sitting in a barber shop complaining about. Oh, psh, really? I didn't see that. I saw that barbershop show. I really don't get into watching that kind of crap, man. Um, I don't know where this world is going. I don't know. It's there's LeBron, dude. He's he's not rubbing me the right way. I can tell you that recently. Cowboys versus Seahawks prediction. I think Russell Wilson's going to have to run a lot. I think we've got to keep him in the pocket though. We can't let him out. We've got to run and stay in our lanes. And I know that that's usually the we're more of a speed rush team, which opens the lane sometimes. Yeah, I've noticed that a little bit recently. LeBron is he's too sensitive, and he's getting on these things about complaining about. These guys are out of touch with reality. To me, I'm gonna go back to the prediction, but a lot of these athletes are really not in touch with reality. A lot of these people that live in Hollywood and California, uh, and they're just not in touch with reality. What the real world is, it's a completely different world for them, and they don't understand. We hear them say things, and we're like, what the hell? So we'll see. But I don't understand that. But my prediction for the Seahawk game, I think we're gonna. I think it'll be similar to the New York game, very similar. Um, but we have to contain Russell Wilson. I don't think, as you guys know, Seattle does not have the receivers that they don't have anyone even I think as good as Shepard to me. Lockett's good, but I don't. And Brandon Marshall, uh, Brandon Marshall. Did I don't think they have the receivers that New York has, and I don't think this. I think the score will be similar because Russell Wilson I think is a much better quarterback than Eli Manning, but I think hopefully we'll get our offense rolling a little better. Seattle has a better secondary than New York does, so. But I think we should be able to run the ball better against Seattle than we did against New York. They don't have snacks in the middle there, so I think the score will be relatively about the same, 2013, maybe 24-13, something like that. I'm hoping. I think we'll win the Seattle game. I hope it's close, and like I said, I hope our safeties make a mistake or two that helps Seattle out, and I hope the coaches say, yeah, we do need a little help at safety. Kayvon Frazier, Xavier Woods, and Jeff Heath, I think they're very, very good safeties, man. I think they've been coached up to where they're in a much better position this year than they were last year. And our line is better. Our linebackers are better. Our defense is I think we're 10 spots above where we were last year on defense as far as ranking in the NFL. The Seahawks are coming off a loss, yeah, to the Bears. Yeah, the Seahawks are 0-2, and this is their first home game. So they're going home to play their first game, 0-2, to play the Cowboys, who were trying to steal their safety. And I did a lot of trolling on Seahawks social media, and Earl Thomas's page, and the coaching staff for the Seahawks, and the media writers, the media bloggers for Seattle. And dude, they do not like the Cowboys this year. This, if we get Earl Thomas, this is going to create a rivalry between the Seahawks that's going to last for a while. Really going to last for a while. The Seahawks are coming off a loss to the Bears, and either they're going to come to the game with their tail feathers between their legs, or they're going to come. Yeah, they're going to come with their guns blazing. I can guarantee you, their guns are going to be blazing. I just want to see how well Earl Thomas. You know, I think he's going to try to. Dude, he's going to try to come. He's going to go all out on these damn Cowboys. He's going to try to show out and impress, um, which is going to help him with Seattle. He's just going to try to show out, and I think he's going to play well just to show the Cowboys, hey, you should have. I put a video out right after he made the statement that he was thoroughly disrespected, and I really think he listed the Cowboys on that disrespect list a little bit as well. He was probably about 90% disrespected by the Seahawks, and I think 10% of that disrespect was towards the Cowboys for not, increasing the trade to make it happen. Uh, we didn't look at any other safeties. He came to our locker room and said, "Come get me." I don't know what happened after that, but we needed safeties at that time, and we never looked at a safety. We really thought during the draft we were going to get a safety. We didn't. We didn't look at any of the safeties in off-season, preseason, OTAs. None of the safeties were out there we even looked at, and they just kept coming out on the board. There'd be a safety out there that was cut or dropped or released, and there were trades with safeties, and we didn't look at any of them. Tyrann Mathieu. There was quite a few of them. Kenny Vaccaro. There was a lot of safeties out there we never looked at. Scary thing is Earl Thomas, I'm sure, is very familiar, savvy with Dak and the offense, and Richard in the defense. He knows he don't see this as a gimme game. Yeah, this is definitely not a gimme game, guys. Even though Seattle's not playing well, this is just one of those games where, yeah, this is a grudge match game. It really, really is. It's a grudge match. It's going to be a tough game. The Cowboys kind of been taking the Seahawks to the cleaners the last couple seasons anyway. I think the rivalry has already been, yeah, it is. It's a little bit of a brewing rivalry. We've had good games, and the reason is every time we play them, it seems to be important for some reason. Last year, you guys know, last year when we lost that game, the defense played outstanding, man. The defense, but we had that pick six by Dak Prescott. We had the fumble by Dez Bryant right around midfield that put him in good field position. The pick six gave him 6 points. And yeah, and that pretty much, that was our Christmas. That was our season. That was the game that ended it for us. We actually needed that win, and we needed Atlanta to lose. If you guys recall, we needed to win the Seattle game, and we needed Atlanta to lose, and we lost the Seattle game, so the Atlanta game didn't matter anymore. Um, Seattle desperate on, yeah, they're really, really desperate right now. Guys, we're in first place. We're sitting alone on top of the NFC East at 1-1 with a conference win. So we've got to hold that position. We've got Seattle this week, um, and Seattle. You got to look at Seattle, who they played. I think they had Denver the first. Yeah, Denver. I watched that game yesterday. I went back and watched the Denver Seattle game, and then they had Chicago, and Denver, Chicago, us, and I would say Jacksonville are probably, and the Rams. Those are the top five defensive lines in the league right now. The Rams, not in any particular order, it's a little too early to tell, but those guys, Adamakin Sue and Aaron Donald, they're tough. So you got the Rams, you got Chicago, which I think is probably in the lower five, maybe around 4 or 5. You got us, I think we're in the top 2 or 3. Um, Denver is up there as well. So those are like the top five defensive lines in the league, and that's who Seattle's faced the first three games. Denver, Chicago, and us. That's pretty tough defensive front to start off against. And I think our linebackers are better than I think our linebackers are definitely better than the Rams. Um, they just got that front. The Rams got a good front too. Why does ET feel disrespected? Been trading? Yeah, well, yeah, we've been trading punches. I don't. The only reason I think he might feel a little disrespected, Thomas, is because if you remember, he came to the locker room, and since then we have not we've not looked at another safety. We didn't get one in the draft. We could have got one with the fourth pick. We got Dalton Schultz. Would you guys not rather have a backup safety, a fourth round safety, than Dalton Schultz? I mean, I guess they thought he was going to be special. We got Mike White, who's I think going to be on the practice team. I think he's already on the practice squad. Uh, and we got him in the fifth round. I would have rather have gotten a safety there. Um, the thing is, Khalil Mack went for two first round picks. Khalil Mack is a Pro Bowler. He's a perennial uh, pass rusher. Earl Thomas is like, you guys can't step up and give a first round pick for me. I'm not worth a first round pick. Now I've got to stay in Seattle. And you guys know it started with a second round pick at the draft. They wanted the slot that Connor Williams was in, and that's the reason a second round pick now is not the same. A second round pick today is not the same as the day of the draft because they would have got that spot where Connor Williams was. So now the second round pick is not as good as it was during the draft. So you know what I'm saying? Now if we give them that second round pick, they still got to wait for that second round pick. Now they're going to get a third round pick, a compensatory pick, but that's not till 2020. If Earl Thomas walks away, they get a 2020 third round pick. So we still could give them a second round now, or a third, and they probably now the Cowboys are saying, no, you had a chance at a second round pick, you didn't take it. They're going to go back and forth on this, and Earl Thomas is like, why y'all playing games, man? Dallas, give them a second round pick or give them a first round pick. Come get me. Khalil Mack went for two first round picks. I'm not worth one. That's just what I'm thinking. He's thinking because these players have really really big egos, and Earl Thomas deserves to have an ego. He's the best. He's the best center fielder in the NFL by far. Everyone knows that. So that's why I'm saying. Uh, that's why I'm saying I'm going to slide through this and check. I missed a bunch of messages while I was running my mouth there, but I want to see what you guys think about that. And I've mentioned that to Mark Holmes. I've mentioned that to a couple other players, a couple other people, and they've said, I never really thought of that, but it's probably true because Earl Thomas is saying, man, you guys said you're coming to get me. Come freaking get me. If they want a first round pick, give them a damn first round pick. I'm worth a first round pick. You know what I'm saying? And that it works out the same way in business, and that's what made me think of that. I'm gonna see where I'm at right now. We kind of been taking the Seahawks to the cleaners. Scary thing is Earl Thomas I'm sure is very familiar and savvy. Okay, I've already read that one. Let me slide down a little bit. This thing is so hard to slide down. Hey Crunk, what's the weather like out there? Oh, here it's not too hot. It's mediocre. It gets up to around 85 in the summer, maybe. Well, it gets up to around 90. But the winter, you got all four seasons in Kabul, so it's not too bad. It doesn't snow a lot, but it does snow a little bit. Yeah, the Christmas Eve game. I'm sliding down, guys. Sorry. Why does ET feel disrespected? Okay, that's what I feel like. That Joseph, that was my answer to that because we keep going back and forth. He wants the Cowboys to step up and make it happen. I mean, this guy's die-hard Cowboy. If he used to leave practices and leave games, Monday he would leave practice and haul ass home to watch Cowboys on Monday night, or they would have film sessions on Sunday if he had a Thursday game, and they would have film sessions on Sundays, and he would leave the film session as quickly as possible to get home and watch the Cowboys Sunday night. Stuff like that is what they were saying. Even everyone in the locker room knew that Earl Thomas is a big Cowboy fan. So we need to fire off now and let up. Screw the conservative playing. Yeah, this conservative play calling's got to go out the window. This 3rd and 12 and stuff like that, and they run the ball, or 3rd and 12, these bubble screens. I don't like that crap. And you give a bubble screen to Cole Beasley, and it's nice to get Cole Beasley the ball. I like Cole Beasley, but he's not a guy that's going to break tackles. He might dodge a couple tackles, but he's not going to get you 25 yards on a bubble screen when you need 15 yards or something. Crunk you at 989 subs. Oh yeah, getting close to 1,000. I saw that. These two teams have definitely been trading punches a lot in the back and forth. Yeah, we have. Uh, it was Pittsburgh. Yeah, in the 80s it was the 49ers. Yeah, and now it's the Packers. It's the Packers and the Seahawks are the two teams that we're battling with a lot. We need to. Okay, I got that already. Crunk you at 989. Oh shit, this thing's filling up quick. I'm sliding up. That's why. Okay, I think I'm at the bottom now. I'm caught up, I think, guys. If I missed anything, repost it. I don't mind jumping back. If you had a question, or if we were talking about something and you wanted my stupid opinion, post it again if I didn't answer. Uh, yeah, well, that's just me. I think he would feel disrespected a little because if it's like a car. I'll take it real simple like a car. If you go to a car dealership and the guy tells you the price and it's too high and you offer a price back, I know a car doesn't have feelings, but the car could be sitting there going, "Hey man, I'm worth 50 grand. What do you mean? You go offer him 40 grand? That's bullshit." And Earl Thomas, I know he thinks he's worth a first round pick. Earl Thomas knows he's worth a first round pick. He thinks he is. And that's these players. They're all arrogant. They're all cocky. They're all for the most part. He wanted out. We told him we were going to get him out. And when if I can guarantee you, Earl Thomas has in his head, if the Seattle Seahawks said, "I want a first round and a fifth round," Earl Thomas is like, "Yeah, that sounds good. I'm not worth a first and a fifth. Why are the Cowboys slacking?" That's what he's thinking. And I can assure you that he knows. Now Seattle played a lot more games than we did, but I can assure you Earl Thomas thinks he's worth more than a second round, and that the Cowboys should have done it, especially all he did. He almost lost out on a shitload of money, and he put himself in a bad position with that team. So that's just my thoughts. Yeah, but do you really think it's a good idea to give up a first round for Earl Thomas? I think offense. Um, a first round's a little steep, when we know we're going to get him next year. So my thing is, James, if we give up a first round this year, we don't need a lot of players. We're really, really good at where we are. You know, the thing is, could we get a if on our first round pick, could we bring in a player good enough that would allow us to release one of our veteran players that's making a lot of money? And that's what we do now with our first round picks. We bring in our first round pick, and usually nowadays, a first round pick is meant to replace someone that's being overpaid. You can release them, like Michael Gallup basically was brought in, I think, so that we could. One of the reasons is so we could release Dez. We got Gallup, but we released 16 million a year. Uh, you know, uh, Leighton Vander Esch was brought in to back up Sean Lee. We needed that, but normally your first round picks these days, the way they're building teams, you bring in your first round pick to replace someone that's being overpaid, uh, and you would like to replace them and release. So it's a good way to bring in a very good player that's young. His salary will be low. He'll make an immediate impact, and you can release a veteran that's gonna take his place. What's up, Cowboy family in the house? Hey, we're still going over this Earl Thomas thing. We were back on that. Uh, if you could stay in the chat room real quick, I wanna throw something at you, Cowboy family, that I've thought for a while. We just were discussing it. Don't know if you were here for, and the Earl Thomas thing when he said he was thoroughly disrespected. I've had a theory on that for a while now. that as soon as that statement came out, I think he holds a little bit of a grudge against the Cowboys as well, because Khalil Mack went for 2 first-round picks, and right after that, Seattle said they wanted more than a second round, because as you guys recall, during the draft they wanted a second round, which was different. That was they wanted a they wanted a second round draft during the draft. That means we wouldn't have got Connor Williams. They would have taken that pick. So they would have had an immediate second round pick. Now they're having to wait for next year's second round pick. But after the Khalil Mack trade went down, Khalil Mack went for 2 first-round picks, and Seattle didn't want to do the trade anymore. They wanted more, and I think Earl Thomas is slightly mad that the Cowboys did not step up and make that happen. I think he thinks he's worth a first-round pick, and we should have offered more. So the thoroughly disrespected, I think, comes on both sides a little. I think he's like 90% disrespected by the Seahawks, and I think he has a little anger towards the Cowboys for not making that happen. Not know if you're Don't know if you're still in here and heard all that, but that's an opinion I had on this Earl Thomas thing. I think he's a little pissed at the Cowboys for not offering more. But I would love to play in Dallas, even if we get him for a better deal for US than what he thinks he's worth. Uh, he'll get over it. Yeah, yeah, I understand. Yeah, and my only thing is, I think we're so close. We'll see later in the season, but one player could make that difference. it, I will tell you this: that play where Aaron Rodgers scrambled around and threw that ball to the tight end. The tight end, made a really good catch, got his feet down. Byron Jones was following him, and I know Byron Jones typically does very well on tight ends. I think if we had Earl Thomas, I don't think that pass would have been completed. I think he's our center fielder. He would have not let that. We would have won that game if we had Earl Thomas, and those are plays where a guy like Earl Thomas can get you to the next level. And sometimes, if you have to give a first round draft pick up for a player like that to make an immediate impact, if that first round player we get next year, he may not make an impact for a year or two. Now we've got Dez, or excuse me, we got Dak and Ezekiel Elliott and all these guys coming into their contracts. We may not have Tank Lawrence. We may not have some of these secondary guys, Byron Jones, Xavier Woods. Some of these guys may be in their third and fourth year, their fourth and fifth year. They may be in contract years by the time this first round draft pick that we would be giving up for next year makes an impact. So I think we're in a window right now. I think we need to bring in Earl Thomas. If they want a first round pick, we let it go. But we've got to beat Seattle this week to make that happen. If we don't, I think if Seattle wins this week, they still think they're in playoff contentions. So we have till the end of October, to see what happens. But Seattle needs to fall apart. We need Seattle to fall apart, and then we can see what happens. After this game, Jordan Lewis is on the trading block, and the Seattle would love a young. Yeah, I that's what I was just talking about earlier. My Cowboy family. Same thing. We discussed that earlier. I think 2 days ago I did a video about Jordan Lewis supposedly being looked at. He hasn't had a lot of snaps, but his ceiling is still high, and he still has a really solid name as far as his trade value, because of his draft position and how well he played at Michigan. So let me read through some of these. Cowboy Crunk, we also would have won that game if he actually had the pass rush. That game was, yeah, exactly. I agree. And this is one thing, everybody's like, hey, our offensive line, we need to replace Travis Frederick. We need to if there's no one there to replace Travis Frederick, you've got to look somewhere else to make your team better. And our defense has played outstanding. Heath blew that play last week and gave up the touchdown. I can assure you the Giants would have not scored that touchdown if Earl Thomas was there. And Heath has played well. He's played very well. But he made a mistake. He was looking in the backfield. Jalen Smith released Ingram to him, and he did not even see it. Ingram ran right past him into the end zone. Center field. That's what Earl Thomas plays. Earl Thomas would have been all over Ingram. That ball would not have been caught. They would not have scored a touchdown last week. The Giants wouldn't have if we had Earl Thomas. And that could easily happen against the Packers. Well, we don't have the Packers this year unless we make the playoffs. But that could easily happen in another game later in the year that we lose that gets us out of the playoffs or puts us in a bad position. So that's why I'm still high on the Earl Thomas thing. I don't think we need that many players right now. We don't need 8 draft picks. We don't need to draft 8 more players next year. And go ahead, get a solid draft pick right now. You could get a solid draft pick right now with Earl Thomas. Give him your number 1 and make the trade, and let's go get this damn Super Bowl. That's just where I stand. Because just like a kicker, if there's a player that could make a difference, I hope Mayer continues to do what he did last week. Because if this guy doesn't work out, we're going to lose 1 or 2 games because we didn't keep Dan Bailey. With us being a running team, we're going to have a lot of really close games. So our kicker could become very valuable with a low score game, which we're going to have a lot of 20, 20, 17, 20, we're going to have a lot of games where we score under 30 points. We're not going to score 30 points many games. So we're going to need our kicker to be clutch, and we're going to need our kicker to make kicks. And if this guy doesn't work out, it could really hurt us. We picked up Tyree Robinson on the practice squad, by the way. So him and Alumba on the practice squad. Yeah, that's good. I hadn't seen any news. It's 6 a.m. here, and I just woke up to watch the game and started a live stream. So cameras out on focus. Need to move it in a tad to your left. No, I can't move it. Oh, for the TV screen, I can't do that, man. Let's see, James. If anything, Earl Thomas comes next year and we don't have to give up anything. Yeah, I would like to do that, James. But seriously, man, if we're in a position where he could help us this year, I don't see why not do it. And Khalil Mack went for 2 first rounds. That's the thing. The price for players changes when stuff like this happens. It's just like oil, gas, gold, shit, everything. When it becomes, supply and demand, there's not a lot of good safeties out there. So, we passed on a lot of guys that we could have had. Tyrann Mathieu, Kenny Vaccaro, Eric Reed. Man, all those safeties right there, we didn't even look at them. So I know we're still stuck on this Earl Thomas thing. Jerry Jones is stuck on it. Will McClay is stuck on it. We know Chris Richard wants him. I think it's going to happen, especially if we win this week. If Seattle goes 0-4, especially, I don't know who Seattle has after us, but if we can beat Seattle this week and Seattle loses the week after, and we're sitting at 4-1, I think it's a move that we make, and we make it because it's gonna, if we beat Seattle and lose next week and we're 3-2, and Seattle's we would be we're 1-1. If we win this week and we lose the next week, we're 2-2, and Seattle is 0-4. If we're 2-2, Seattle's 0-4, I think it definitely happens, and that's not unrealistic. That's not playing with numbers or anything. But if Seattle can fall apart and we're mediocre, our safety play's been good, but it hasn't been great, and he would make our safety play great. So, and like I said, the Giants would not have scored that touchdown if Earl Thomas was back there. That was an easy cover that Heath just missed, and Heath's been playing good, but he's not Earl Thomas. Exactly, but Thomas thinks he is. Yeah, Thomas thinks he's probably worth 2 first-round picks, and that's why I think he's slightly a little upset with the Cowboys for not stepping up and paying for him. He wanted to. He wanted to come. So, John Galt. Thomas is not Khalil Mack. No, Thomas is not a Khalil Mack. It's a completely different position. It's like a pickup truck versus I don't know. But yeah, completely different position, completely different skill level. But Thomas is the best free safety center fielder in the NFL, and Khalil Mack is probably the best edge rusher. So that they're both the best at what they do, just different positions. I'll check. I have every team scheduled. Yeah. Thanks, Stevie Mac. Seahawks have the Cards, the Rams, and the Raiders. Ah, shit. Well, they should win the Cards game. If they lose to the Cardinals now, yeah, that right there might be the straw that broke the back. Uh, if they lose to the Cards, they're gonna have serious uh, shit. Russell Wilson might be gone. Everybody might be gone if they lose to the Cardinals. Um, Writing down. Join us in the present and print that shit. Oh, what's that? I don't understand. Justin Raines, written down. Did I miss something exactly? But tell me anything wrong. I think we need that first round pick for a top tier wide receiver. Yeah, that is true. That's what I would like to do with our first pick, is go wide receiver. Especially if we think we can, if Earl Thomas is coming, or if there's a really see, now we get into the draft. If there's a really good safety there sitting at on our first pick, uh, yeah, but yeah, an excellent wide receiver would be good. You know who I want? There's a guy that's at Baylor now, and I have to look his name up because I can't recall. If any of you guys out there follow college football really good, he was a Heisman contender as a running back at Tennessee. He transferred to Baylor, which is right down the street from the Cowboys area. He transferred to Baylor because he wanted to transfer as a wide receiver because of the salaries of wide receivers are better. He has a kind of a wide receiver type body. He's 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", 230, big receiver. And I'm trying to remember his name right now. Let me look. Let me Google this guy. Jalen. God damn it, I can't remember. Oh, sorry guys. Tennessee let me see. Tennessee transfer to Baylor. Receiver. I can't recall his name. This will definitely hit it. Jalen Hurd. Got this guy. I have not watched a Baylor game this year, but this guy was a Heisman Trophy contender as a wide receiver. He went to Tennessee. He said, "I want to be a running I want to be." Excuse me. He was a running back at Tennessee, and he was a contender for the Heisman Trophy, and he ended up he wants to play wide receiver. So he transferred to Baylor. Baylor said they'd make him a wide receiver. And I've been really interested in watching him. I just haven't got a chance to watch some college football this year. But this guy is supposed to have like the perfect prototypical type Terminator type wide receiver body. Really big, really strong, a good vertical, good hands. He was a good receiver out of the backfield. So this is a guy that could go early in the first round, kind of not early, but maybe mid to late first round if he has a good season. He might be right there in the Cowboys area. And man, this is a guy I would love to have, Jalen Hurd, out of the draft. I'm really looking forward to see where he goes. I have them written down because I have the 2017 offensive defensive type ranking and the other stuff for my fantasy football drafts. Man, I just can't get into fantasy. I guess it's I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm a numbers guy. I might be fairly decent at it. That's what I do is sit down and look at numbers all damn day, and calculate fuel usage and but I just never got into fantasy. I guess I did do fantasy NASCAR one year. That was actually pretty fun, but it was with a bunch of clown ass friends I had. So how about 11 from the Buckeyes? Like I said, guys, I haven't gotten into college too much this year. I really plan on doing it so I know more at the draft. When we went to the draft this year, hey, if you, I know there's only 15 of us on here right now, But if you were at the draft this year and you were there with Cowboy Joe Boo, Mark Holmes, and myself, and the other guys that were there, post a one real quick. Um, I I'm not sure how many people came through there, but if you were at the draft, um, we had a really good time, and we will be at the draft here in Nashville. That's my next planned vacation. I'm already setting aside, some change for that. I do have family in Tennessee, so uh, gonna come to the draft deep. And Mark Holmes and those guys, they've already said they're coming, so we should have relatively the same crew there, and we should have a good setup. We had a good time, so I guess no one on here was at the draft. Every once in a while, there'll be a few people on here from the draft, so I wasn't sure if any of you guys were out there, but we will see you at Nashville. So I'm trying to get into more college football this year. Uh, I'm trying to get into more college football this year, so when I go to the draft, it's not too. I'm not too far behind. Last year, there was just a few players that I was really watching, and that was for the Cowboys. Who I was hoping, but that Leighton Vander Esch guy was a surprise to all of us. So, but our linebacker core is really deep this year. We're doing much better linebacker. Bears defense, man. No, I don't know, man. We'll have to see. Um, I really think our defense is we've still a little bit got that my team blows leads. Dude, that is the craziest. That's the craziest. Um, that's the craziest streaming name I've seen, man, or the profile name, whatever it's called. My team blows leads. Wow, that's good. No, I think our oh, that's a good one though, man. Oh man, no, it's tough, man. The Bears got a good defense. I think we've got a very good defense also, but our defense has a bend don't break mentality, and our defense is going to get better. We're going to be blitzing more. I think they wanted to, the stronger our secondary gets, the more our secondary works together. They're going to trust our guys to blitz more. You're going to see more Jalen Smith coming off the edge or rushing up the middle. The score is 14-3, guys. I think. They just shut it off. But I think we're going to start blitzing more. Our defense is coming around. I think Chicago's defense is going to get better as well. With the more Khalil Mack works with those guys and everything. So we'll see. People calling Dak Prescott bad. Hey, no, he comes off games rusty. He every game when we've had our bye, every time we come off of a bye, he doesn't play too well. When our we had our bye week going into the or layoff week, whatever you call it, when prior to the playoff game, he didn't come into the playoff game well when we won the division, and had the bye going into the playoffs. So he's just rusty. He's a young quarterback. It takes him a little bit to get his feet under him. So he plays well in the second half after he comes off buys, but the first half he doesn't do too well. Yeah, I was going to Cedric Wilson, sneaky receiver, just needed to get more confidence in his hands and stop the body catching. Yeah, I agree with the Cedric Wilson statement as well. Okay, you can't start now. The judge is in the house. Golden Heart in the house. Yeah, actually, our defense isn't bend don't break anymore. Yeah, well, no, we're not. We're getting up. We're on the line, but we like I said, those were checkdowns. But Eli Manning went 33 of 44, so he did have a lot of completed passes. But we tackled pretty well. And we were saying earlier, the first guy might not have made the tackle, but our defense has a lot of speed. And if the first guy can slow you down just a little bit, you're going to have two or three guys in your back pocket making the tackle before you get anywhere. So that's where we did well. So it's not really bend, don't break, but we did give up a lot of receptions, a lot of completed passes, but they just didn't get anything out of them. So it's not really bend don't break, but we did let them, you know, get a lot of receptions. But out of those 33 receptions, I think close to 20 of them, almost maybe between 16 and 18 were checkdowns. So our secondary is doing very well. Um, the John Galt line at team blows the lead. People underestimate Prescott. Prescott, he's a game manager. He's a very sound, solid quarterback that he doesn't take a lot of risk, and they need to open him up. Is what I think. They need to coach him to hey, take a shot every once in a while. The thing is, hopefully Bryce Butler can help us with that. I think he's more comfortable throwing the ball to a a larger receiver. He just has to be a little more accurate, and he has to work on his accuracy. Line I know to keep in mind: nobody in safe in the wide receiver room. Yeah, yeah. I don't see anyone on our receiving core being a solid 100% re-sign for next year. I know Terrence Williams is gone. We won't have T. Will next year, so I've got to find another player to pick on because every time something bad happens, I blame it on Terrence Williams. Bears are top defense, starts right now. Hey, you're up there, guy. No BS. I don't know if you're a Bears fan, but you guys got a solid defense. You guys look really good. Um, on offense, you got some struggles, but defense is looking really good. This defense is going to hurt some feelings. Giants fans definitely didn't know. Yeah, it was really nice, guys. It was really nice when our defense came out in the second half, and I was happy. I was like, yeah, our defense is coming out first. We're going to set the tone for the second half. It's always good to have the ball, but I actually was thinking, this might be an advantage. Our defense coming out first, shut the Giants down, make them punt, and we get good field position, and we start the second half on a positive note, and that's what happened. So I was really happy to see. I hope the Cowboys start off like that every game. I hope we get the ball first, and I hope the second half we come out, we start on defense, our defense plays well, and we start the second half out on a positive note. So I hope on all the coin tosses we get, we take the ball. We should put our offense out there, let our offense do their thing, and then start the second half with the strength of our team, which is our defense now. I think the only way we get Earl is if Seattle loses the next few games and look like they don't have a shot at the playoffs. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been reading up on this whole thing. That's been my take on it. Is if Seattle gets to 0-3, which we have them next, so we can force that situation. I don't think they'll lose to the Cardinals, so they kind of have a bye week. If they lose to the Cardinals, yeah, Earl Thomas is going to go on the block. They're going to be looking to get some immediate somebody young that can help them over the next couple of years. So they're going to be looking to trade for a draft pick or a really really young player. Jordan Lewis could be that cornerback that they need. So we'll see, guys. Line A. Line will be looking at the end of the season. We'll be looking at the end of the off season on what we need for the draft. Yeah, the draft. Yeah, it's a little early to evaluate all that stuff now, but as you guys know, we do need a top tier receiver, and we also have a lot of guys. Our main thing in this offseason is going to be signing the guys we got. Looking at contracts for DeMarcus Lawrence. We got to decide, do we need to keep him? DeMarcus Lawrence he's gonna require a huge salary, and especially if he goes off this year. So, do we have the guys behind him? If we can get Randy Gregory and David Irving to keep their crap together, those will be guys we could re-sign relatively cheap because of their off the field problems. Now, we'll get them cheap, but can we rely on them? You know what I'm saying? So those are things you got to take into consideration. You could get Randy Gregory, You could get Randy Gregory, David Irving, Antoine Woods, all for the price of a DeMarcus Lawrence. So do you go out and sign these guys for mediocre type contracts and let DeMarcus Lawrence go? Taco Charlton's coming up on his contract as well. So if these guys can step in, replace DeMarcus Lawrence, you've almost got to let him go because of the salary he's gonna draw a healthy salary. So I would love to keep DeMarcus Lawrence. I just ordered his jersey yesterday, but I think he's one of these guys that he's gonna want to get paid. He's gonna think about himself before he thinks about the rest of the team. Um, and that's just where it stands. You know, anybody got any? Matter of fact, in the chat box, there's only 20 of us there. But give me a one if you want to keep DeMarcus Lawrence, or give me a two if you think if he asks for if he asks for more than if he asks for more than 17 million a year, if we should keep him or release him. 17 million. One if we keep him, two if we let him go. That's where that's probably my limit, and I know that that's not a hell of a lot, but 17 mil is a lot for a defensive end, a rusher, I think. But if you guys have opinions on that, that's D-Law is off the charts against the run too. Yeah, he plays well against the run. Sometimes he's had a tendency. That was actually last year, early in the year. He had a tendency to just take the snap and just go wide. Off the snap of the ball, he would just go wide, and sometimes he left that that inside gap open a lot. So, is it true Lee's hurt again? Yeah, I heard he had a small injury. I would be okay with Golden Heart's okay with letting him go as well. If he's too expensive, you let him go. Uh, that's my thing. You can't hurt the rest of the Cowboy family trying to get yourself fed too much. It's like Christmas comes. Christmas comes once a year. And if I went to my family and said, "Look, this is what I want for Christmas, and you better get it for me, or I'm leaving," like, well, if we get you that for Christmas, we can't get nobody else shit. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it is. There's a salary cap. You have an amount you can spend on Christmas, and you can't have one kid come in there, and that's what Aaron Rodgers did. Aaron Rodgers said, "This is what I want," and hey, nobody else in Packerland is getting shit for Christmas because Aaron Rodgers just stole Christmas from the rest of his brothers and sisters. That's I analyze things that way, so to me that's funny. I don't know. Let me check back. Cowboys are shit. Go Bears. Hey, we got two Bears fans in here. Uh, Congratulations, man. Hey, the Bears are looking good, bro. You got a solid team, but I don't recall if we go head to head with them. But Crunk, I need projected stats first. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, exactly. If you're talking about Demarcus Lawrence, I'm with you on that. I understand. So, but I really think if he asks for too much, we've got to let him go, and you can't pay. Yeah, Lee's hamstring, but they said it was just cramps. He should be okay. He didn't go full speed today. He did practice, but I think he just did parts of practice. They're just letting him rest. He'll be ready on Sunday. I'm quite sure. Sean Lee will be ready on Sunday, and they'll probably play him sparingly. I don't think he'll play his normal role. They'll probably try to get the younger guys in a little bit. Uh, um, if you guys know what I'm saying, Sean Lee does have what I would call a nagging hamstring. It's not really bad, but the best thing to do is play him when you need him and get the younger guys in. Joe Thomas and Leighton Vander Esch actually have played pretty well. They're just down on the depth chart. So we will see. I think we'll see more of those guys this week and a little less of Sean Lee. And Sean Lee has not played his typical self. He really hasn't. He hasn't been his normal Sean Lee. Yeah, but Aaron is one man offense. Yeah, that's true. But hey, you still need receivers, and when you gobble up a large part of the salary like that, it hurts everyone else. You know what I'm saying? Uh, like I said, nobody else is. You sit down at the table. There's only so much food, and if you take 70% of of the food, it don't leave a lot for everybody else. And that's my take on it. And I don't think anyone that plays in a team sport should demand something like that. I just think it's wrong. Brother Crunk, I hate to bring it up, but do you think we could get ET3 and I would pay D Law? Yeah, we were. I was discussing Earl Thomas earlier. Um, I don't know if you were here or maybe you stepped away for a while. I know you were here at the beginning, but the ET3 thing, I think we should give him a first round and maybe even give him a first round. Try to give him a 2020 first round, not 2019. I know they want something now. They're going to get a third round in 2020. If they don't get anything for him and he finishes the season, they get a third round 2020 for him. That's automatic from the NFL. So I would like to have our first round pick next year because I'd like somebody mentioned earlier. I'm on the same boat. I think we need a receiver, but I don't think we're that many players away from being a Super Bowl contender. So if you have a chance to go get him, go get him. And Earl Thomas, I think he's worth a first round. Khalil Mack went for 2 first rounds, and look what he's doing. Earl Thomas has had a pick already. Um, so Earl Thomas is playing well, and I don't think he's putting 100% effort out there. Earl Thomas is one of the reasons he wanted out was the money. He wanted to come to Dallas. Second of all, you guys know that as well, but he wanted to get paid more. The Cam Chancellor thing, the Sherman Richardson thing, all of those things affected him, and he wanted money. And that's so part of it's money, part of it's he wanted to leave Seattle. Everybody else had left, and he wanted out of there. So I think we should go get him. Khalil Mack went for 2 first rounds, and Earl Thomas definitely thinks he's worth a first round. So I think he's a little pissed. Uh, I think he's a little pissed we didn't go get him, and we didn't pay for him. He wanted us to pay for him. We didn't look at any other safeties. We were real quiet as far as safeties go during the draft. We didn't look at any safeties during the draft, or we didn't have any on our we didn't select any really safeties high in the draft. So I think we made a mistake. We had a couple opportunities to go get him, and we didn't go get him. And now the trade value for him is going down again because Seattle's not playing well. So we'll see. If we beat Seattle and Seattle has a horrible game against the Cardinals, maybe we got a chance in the next. We have till October 30th. I think October 30th is the final day for. I think after October 30th, that's when the rosters are locked for the rest of the season. Trade deadline, October 30th. Yeah, Stevie Mack. I was looking at that list the other day, and I thought about the idea of signing Jesse James, Steeler tight end. Oh man, that dude is beast. What's going on with Jesse James? I had no clue. I missed something on the list there. I had no clue that guy was. Yeah, Jesse James is great at opening up the middle. Jared Cook just burns DBs. I think he had like 160 yards in a week one against the Rams defense. Crunk, I am true. ET doesn't. So they have to be the highest paid in Dallas. Oh yeah, see that's another thing. Um, you guys know, and I've said this 100 times. I think Earl Thomas would come to us cheaper than he would any other team. First of all, Dallas, you don't pay state taxes in Texas, so that's going to save him about $1 million right there. He's gonna have a higher salary. If we could get him for 12 mil, easy. I know that would not bother him at all. He would sign a 3-year, what I've been saying, 3-year, 36 million. and give him 28 million guaranteed, something like that, and we would have. What the fuck is going on with Randy Gregory? Why? What happened now? If there's breaking news, I had no clue. He's supposed to play tomorrow, as far as I know, unless something happened today. Funny, we thought the same thing about acquiring Jesse James. I don't know if there's anything going on with Jesse James. I haven't heard anything. And then we got a message here about Randy Gregory. What's going on, Harrison Live 05? Look at my post a few minutes, Crunk. We just was just mentioning the few sold solid players in the 2900 free agency. Not a lot of guys offensively. Yeah, that's what I was saying, and that's why if the Cowboys are looking to make the team better, you got to look at what is available. Sometimes you have players you need or positions you need to fill, but there's nobody out there better. We're doing the best we can at offensive line. Would we have liked to have gotten better than Fleming? The Patriots basically told the Cowboys, after that trade, after we acquired Fleming, we had to hide him sometimes. We had to hide Fleming in the line and put people around him to help him. And we weren't aware of that. All we knew was he was the starting tackle for a Super Bowl team, and he did start in the game. But apparently the Patriots weren't as keen on him as we thought they were, and maybe they didn't do their research. But sometimes you got to get the players that are out there that can help you. You don't, you can't just look for to fill the positions you need. Sometimes there's no one out there. There's not a lot of receivers out there. The receivers are taken up. Do we need a receiver? And we're going through looking at guys like Bryce Butler and some of these other guys, and they're not prolific high end receivers, and that's why I think Earl Thomas is there. He's a Pro Bowler. There's not a lot of Pro Bowlers out there that are trying to move and trying to come to the Cowboys. Go get Earl Thomas. He's gonna help our defense, even though our defense is solid. He's gonna make our defense even better. Um, yeah, he's in concussion protocol, but no, no, no. He's not in rehab. He's what he's in is he's in um man, you tripped me out, Harrison. You can't put a statement on there in all caps say what the hell's up with Randy Gregory cuz we're going to think he just did something. I mean, there's red flags all around that dude. He's actually under like he's under almost like a house arrest program for the NFL. They can call him at any time. He has to go for drug tests anytime they call him. He has to answer his phone, tell them where he is. There's a lot of things he's having to go through and answer to the NFL. He's basically like on probation. Well, he is on probation. So 14-3, Jets over the Browns. Man, the Browns. Maybe they are going to go 0-16 again, or 0-15-1. Excuse me, but yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of protocols he's having to go through to stay on the active roster. If he misses a phone call, he's got to like return that phone call immediately, and some other things like that. So hey guys, let me check my battery real quick on the computer's going down. I got to plug this in. Yeah, Harrison, you gave me a heart attack, bro. Yeah, you gave me a heart attack, man. I just assumed Randy Gregory got caught robbing a liquor store or freaking shit something. Anything could happen with some of the Cowboys we got on the roster. But that's one thing, these are really good players that we're getting at a bargain right now because, man, Josh Gordon, Josh Gordon, one of the most athletic receivers, one of the, as far as production wise, one of the most productive receivers in the league. He's making 700, almost $800,000 a year because of his off the field issues. So if he works out for the Patriots, they get an outstanding wide receiver for $800,000. You know, and that's why the teams sometimes will look at these guys and say, "Hey, let's give him a chance." Hell, people don't like, a lot of people will jump on, oh, the Cowboys sign all these players that have personal issues and, smoking weed and, stealing shit or whatever from supermarkets or, some of the crazy stuff we've heard. Yeah, that was like J.J. Wilcox. No, 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 J.J. Wilcox. I'm sorry. Lucky Whitehead. J.J. Wilcox was one of my favorite Cowboys when he was here. I just like the fact the way he hit. I like solid hitters. And there's a lot of respect out there for hitters like J.J. Wilcox. I like the guy. I wish we still had him. That to me that would be. He wasn't a great cover corner. I think he could be. You can teach people to cover. You can't teach people to hit. And Chris Richard can teach these safeties and these corners how to cover people, but you can't really teach hitting. Some guys have it, some guys don't. It's just so it's see we'll see. But D Will in the house. Zeke stayed clean since he got suspended last year. Yeah, Zeke's been clean, and that's one thing that they'll have some negotiating tools when it comes to signing Zeke. They can say, hey man, look, we know your play has actually been a little up and down, and we've had some off the field issues, so we can't just throw all this money at Zeke Elliott and know he's going to be there and be reliable for us because you know injury wise, no, he's been fine, and the same thing with Dak. So Will McClay or Jerry Jones? Oh, Will McClay. Jerry's got the money though. Um, See, I don't see Dak getting a franchise quarterback contract after the season. I don't think he should either. He isn't there yet. Yeah, there's still questions. It'll depend on how he plays this season out. So Kevin White. Not sure yet, James. Depends on how the rest of the season. Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. Exact quote. Depends on how the rest of the season goes. We'll have to see um, next year or past free agency last year. Yeah, I'm not big on this. Let me check on this guy real quick. But I'm hoping, hey, I'm hoping that this guy Jalen Hurd is there. I hope he has a amazing season at Baylor as a wide receiver. That's who I think a guy could fall into our area. There's something I wanted to look up on this Kevin White guys. Uh, Kevin White guy. Let me see if I can find it. Um, no, I don't. That's not. Oh yeah, I was looking at his age. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how long he'd been in the NFL. Um, he has nothing for 2018 yet. Um, I'm not too sure on this Kevin White guy as a wide receiver. His I think his size is good. I haven't seen a lot on him, so I'm not sure. I don't want to say because I don't really watch uh, a lot outside the Cowboys unless it's players I know that we're checking out. And then this year I've been watching pretty much every game on and off. But Brother Crunk, would you have to sold the farm to get? No, hell no, no. I don't. I'm cool with Dak. Dak is good enough to win us Super Bowls, guaranteed. He's safe. He's pretty cautious. I think he's definitely good enough. I don't want to me, guys, I don't want this Aaron Rodgers type quarterback. I don't want we had Tony Romo, which was great. When you put too much on your quarterback's shoulders, you just, you have 1 week you love the guy, 1 week you hate the guy, 1 week you love the guy, 1 week you hate the guy. And we went through that with Tony Romo because he had so many responsibilities. I want to spread the responsibility out on our defense. I want to spread the responsibility out on our defense. Spread some responsibility out on our line. Spend money on our defense, our line, and have a really good quarterback that can handle the ball, take care of it, and move the ball down the field and use our running game. Um, I don't like when you have this quarterback that has 70% of your cap and or whatever 30% of your cap and 90% of the responsibility of winning your game. And if you don't win a game, it's falls 90% of your quarterback's job because he's supposed to have 350 yards a game and 3 touchdowns for you to win. And to me it's not sound football. You look up in the stands and everyone has an Aaron Rodgers jersey on because he's your only damn player that's worth a crap. Everybody else is mediocre type signs because you don't have any money. We had running back that stole underwear. Yeah, that was a wide receiver, Lucky Whitehead. You talking about Lucky Whitehead? The kick returner. He had stole some underwear and I think a bottle of cologne or some shit. I don't remember exactly, but hey, Cleveland's got to get this going, man. We got to start pulling for Cleveland. I want to see these guys get out of the basement. They've got they've got 5 minutes left in the third quarter to they got 5 minutes to pull this damn 5 minutes in the third quarter and the fourth quarter to pull this off. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. So we'll see, guys. Um, I like Dak Prescott too. I was just wondering. Yeah, I think he's good enough. Oh my goodness, what the hell was that? Um, my thing with Dak is he's tough. He's solid. I don't see him having a lot of injuries. He kind of, in that way, reminds me of Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger is a big, solid dude that can take a hit. Um, we've seen Dak take hits and get up. So that's my solid thing with Dak. That's why I don't think we needed, you know, to run three. I have no clue what the Mike White signing was for. To me, it didn't make any sense. I don't know why I thought they were pretty happy with Cooper Rush. Uh, he still has 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He didn't throw a touchdown during preseason, but last year he had seven. He had seven. Oh no, he had one in preseason. He had 6 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. His rookie preseason, and I really thought, I don't know, the Mike White thing didn't make sense to me. I thought we needed other players we could have went for in the draft, but I know he was sitting there on the board on the fifth round, and he was supposed to go in the third or fourth, and maybe that's why they just picked him up. It was best player on the best player left. I don't know, but we don't know if Dak is good enough yet to win Super Bowl. Really good defense will give Dak problems. We haven't played a great defense yet. Yeah, now truthfully, so, but I think Dak is good enough to win us Super Bowls if our defense is really good and our running game is really sound. Um, as good as our defense is, Eli Manning won a Super Bowl. I think Dak is better than Eli Manning. Maybe not as far as a threat. Eli does throw the ball down the field. Now, Dak's rookie year, he put it down the field. He was impressive. He did regress a little last year, but I think they had him kind of, restrained a little bit. I think they had restraints on him. So I don't think, I'm hoping that this game they realize that they got to push the ball down the field a little bit, and I think Dak will do that. So, but anyways, guys, I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna watch the fourth quarter here and grab some breakfast. It is 7 a.m. here. I got to get ready for work here in a little bit. I'm gonna grab breakfast. I appreciate you guys coming in. If you're not part of the channel, like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you. I'll do a live stream probably tomorrow afternoon. Jordan Lewis trade, it's a possibility, guys. He hasn't played much, and he has a very good name on the trade board right now. We still have trade value with Jordan Lewis because he was a high round draft pick, and he played well. He actually fell where he fell to because uh, because he had the off the field issues, and it looks like those off the field issues were cleared up. So he really should have been a higher draft. We got a good deal on him. But to me, I think we keep him because he's really, really good. It helps our depth. So we'll see. But I appreciate it, guys. I'm going to jump off. My battery's getting low on the camera. And also, I want to watch this fourth quarter. I want to pull for the Browns and see how this goes. So see you later, Stevie Mac. Thanks for jumping in. And I will see you guys at the game Sunday. We got the Seahawks. We got to win this game. We object of the game. Win the game, and hopefully our safeties get burnt at least once. I want to see a safety get burned, so that gets us more likely to do this Earl Thomas thing. So appreciate it, guys. Take care. Enjoyed the show. Thank you, guys.